Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Today we got another Flathead earbud review, and that is this Flathead earbud right here on my desk. This is NiceHCK YD30. I believe that stands for like YD30, just heard it once. But the funny thing is that there's a lot of variations of this same thing, at least in the branding, because if you go look at the NiceHCK store, they have like a YDX, YDS small, YD, just a bunch of YD family. And I'm not sure if they are the same thing, but just in different styles, because each of them are a little bit different. And like, for example, the YD small, I guess it's a smaller chassis and has detachable cables. They're just YDX. Well, I'm not sure about that. So I got this one, and I believe the one that I got is just called YD30 UV vanished surface, something like that. I'm hoping that's just something related to the build of the surface and nothing related to the sound. And I hope everyone else in that family has the same sound, just in a different form factor, right? So yeah, that is this set right here on my desk. So let's go ahead and talk about the review on this thing. For starters, this thing, the price on this thing is kind of weird. It's stated at around 5 to 6 euros on the website, but I got it for around 3 or 2.5, I think, something around that price. And it still exists, and I got it in Black Friday. No, I didn't. It was before that. It was off back then, and it still is off. So I guess the real price for it is around that much. So I'm gonna call it around like 5 euros. Depends, $5 where you are. You can go ahead and check it out for yourself. And as always, I'm gonna link it to the where I got this exact same thing from, and so you can go ahead and check it out for yourself and see which version, what product am I exactly talking about. So let's go ahead and talk about the physical characteristics a little bit over here, as you can see. And yeah, this thing comes in a bunch of different variety of colors and stuff. Like, I believe there was a black one, there was a pink one, there's probably more colors. There was a very nice looking, like a clear one that actually looked super clear and transparent. That looked really good. I mean, they have pictures of that exist, but at the same time, when you go to buy this thing, the only color that is existing right now is the same color, green one. But when I wanted to buy this, I believe there were more, maybe not everything, but there were more colors. And I just got the green one. Maybe they just restocked them again. So yeah, and I really am happy with this purchase, with this color, because this looks absolutely beautiful. I mean, look at it. First of all, green is my favorite color, but like, this is a weird green because it's kind of like a turquoise blue, and you might think that this is probably blue, but first it looks different in different coloring, and like in this color it looks kind of blue, but when I put something that is actually blue next to it, like you can see, this is blue, right? So it looks like a kind of a turquoise color. So yeah, I really like this color. The surface, as you can see, has very nice I guess vanish surface, UV, whatever that is. And yeah, it's a metal chassis, as with like with this all things. Again, this same common chassis as always. Yeah, I put on my foams on it, so let me go ahead and put the foam back on. And also the cable, the cable is so nice looking. As you can see, this is like a pink copper kind of color. I can't even tell what kind of color this is. As you can see, it has a nice shimmer to it, and which is similar to the shimmer that was on this thing. Like, they do really good job with their cables, and it's really is not boring. It has an L-type connector, 3.5. I'm not sure if it came with other connector types, maybe. And you can check that for yourself. Yeah, it's a very small like divider over here. It's a very good looking cable, good looking earbud. I really have nothing to complain about. And also it behaves very well too. It feels really nice in the hand, and it really does not get tangled. It gets wrapped easily, and it behaves very well and is really good looking. So there's really no downsides with it. And for the accessories, it came with a simple box. It looked a little nice, but yeah, there's not much. It's just like a simple set of foams, and it came with this card as always, and this is the same thing that was on the cover, I think. Yeah, I always keep these things because I don't know, like they included, like what am I gonna do? So it's like a collection, I keep it. So yeah, but I threw out the box, otherwise I would have shown you. It's rather small. So yeah, I did. That's everything for characteristics, physical characteristics. Let's go ahead and talk about the sound on this thing right here. Well, the sound on this thing, let's start with, as always, with bass on it. And well, first let's talk about the general sound signature. The general sound signature over here, I can finally say that with confidence that it's actually neutral. Like there's no caveat, there's no like neutral this, neutral that. This is genuinely like neutral. I would, if I have to like be more clear than that, I would say it's well, it's a kind of a little warm neutral. It's not that much. It's generally like mostly neutral. It's just a little hint of a warmth, even less than that, right? It's just have a warm tonality, right? I wouldn't say it's part of the tuning. It's a neutral tuning with warm tonality, right? And yeah, so for the bass on this thing, the bass is really good, and I'm not gonna say that it has the bass, it has the best bass that you've heard in this price range or higher, but it's a really good bass. It can compete with other earbuds that are more expensive. There's a good amount of it, right? And there's not like, it's very balanced. It's not in the back, it's not really forward. Although it has a general warm tonality with this earbud, it's not a part of the tuning, right? And it doesn't make your sound be warm. It doesn't have that bloomy bass that like encapsulates and envelopes your music in that kind of sense. I'm not saying that's a good or bad thing. I'm just saying this one doesn't do that. The bass is actually very well separated from the other parts of your mix, and it doesn't really get in the way of anything. And that's gonna make more sense when I compare it with other earbuds, right? But generally, I think it sits in a very perfect balance. It has a small boost. It's just like really like well done, chef's kiss. And well, there's no glaring flaw about it. Like it's not super detailed, but it's not really gloomy at the same time, right? It's very well separated. It's not gonna, yeah, there's no glaring flaw with it, right? There's no issue, but it's not really overachieving in any kind of sense as well. But I really like this thing. I think this is a perfect balance, ideal level of bass that you're gonna get with this kind of tuning, and it really works well. You're definitely gonna be able to hear it. There's a good amount of mid bass, sub bass, no, it's okay. There's a good amount of detail actually with it, especially in the comparison I'm gonna make. And this is towards the detailed side, and yeah, that works very well. And that's for the bass, and that leads me to talk about the mids. And I would have to say the mids on this thing is the best part of it. This is the strength of this earbud. It slowly is trying to like open and spread, so let me give it a wrap. But yeah, the mids on this thing sounds really good. So, but I don't think that's due to its tuning in the mids itself necessarily. Again, with the mids, it's very headache free. It doesn't have any, like, again, no flaws with it. And it's just very well done tuning. It sounds really good. There's a real reasonable rise towards the mids. It goes towards the lower treble. It's low rise. The mids are not directly in your face, definitely. It never gets shouty. It's not never sibilant with the combination of treble. It never bothers your ear. It never gets shouty at any point. Like, doesn't matter how much the singer is gonna build, it's just not gonna be bothering to you. It never gets shouty, and it never gets muffled into the background too, right? And it always sits right in the middle, and it's a good amount of it. It's not. I have a lot of issues with a lot of earbuds and IEMs that are just, the mids sound good, but just sometimes it gets immediately shouty and in your face. Sometimes you get fatigued and tired of it. Like, okay, step back a little bit. I love that this doesn't do that. It always stays at a very comfortable level in the middle of your mix, as where it should be. It's not a middle forward sound, and it's not in the back. It's not muffled, and it has a good amount of detail to it. And I'm gonna come back to the mids, but right now I'm gonna move on to the treble. So as you can see, the theme over here is that this is very balanced, right? The treble over here is not on the darkest side. It's not even on the dark side, and also it's not on the bright side either. Like, I'm kind of repeating myself, but as I just said in the general sound impression, this is a neutral set. So what am I gonna talk about really, right? There's nothing special to point out here because it's neutral with the treble as well, neutral in every area. The treble is a really good amount. There's again good amount of detail. It doesn't make it bright, but it doesn't make it dark too. So whatever is in there in between those, which is neutral, I guess, yeah, the treble sounds really, really neutral. And that's a good thing, right? Because a lot are dark, a lot of earbuds are dark, which is better than when they try to be not dark and they give you some details, but they just screw it up and sound like peaky at some points, sound too much detail, sound give you too much fatigue. I love that this doesn't do that again. It's a very good treble. There's a good amount of actually air treble with it too, like air frequencies, the mid and higher treble frequencies. There's a good amount of those, you can hear them. And yeah, it's not trying to overachieve. It's not really trying to go for something that it cannot do in the treble area. It's an honest treble sound. But I believe the magic with this set is the combination of the treble and the mids over here, because what this thing does have is the tonality and the timbre of it. Let me skip this. There you go. The tonality and timbre of this set is amazing, and that's really shines on the mids, right? I don't know how to describe this thing. The mids are not really like in a standout way, like gonna sound so good that you can describe it, but the tonality of it is great. The tonality is like, the mids on this thing, the vocals and the lead guitars and stuff like that, in anything in that frequencies, it sounds so creamy and smooth, and it just has that soulful quality to it. A lot of sets that have a very detailed sound to the mids, and the mids sound good and clear, right? And this is also very clear, but a lot of sets that have a very clear mids, they have a knockback in the area that they don't have that thickness and warmth to the body. So it just it's a double whammy over there. And sometimes those sets that have a warmer tonality, warmer sound, and note weight to them, they're thicker sounds, they have a heavier note weight to the vocals, especially male vocals. They fall off in the clarity and the details part. This sits right in between, and I believe this has done it a very magical achievement to give you that amount of, it's a good amount of details and clarity, and of course at the same time some amount of warmth too, because it's just neutral, it's balanced. And again, I'm gonna make more sense when I compare it to other sets. Yeah, the mids are very much have a soulful quality to them, creamy texture to them. This is not the most clear earbud. This is not doesn't have a lot of clarity. It has a lot of clarity, but it's not the most clear sounding mids or treble here, right? But sometimes that's a good thing. Sometimes that's a trade-off I think that you can make, to give up a little bit of a clarity to gain some kind of good texture and timbre, right? And I believe this is the goal over here, and it has done its job very well. So that's kind of the, I don't know, objective sound on this thing in isolation. Let me go ahead and talk about comparisons, but before that, let me quickly talk about technicalities. This actually has really good technicalities. I'm not gonna say it's gonna overachieve, but it has good technicalities. It's not like the other sets that I was describing, were the Caber Stella or the Vitobots. They have, I said, it's a level 0, the level 0 technical level, but this thing is above that. I think this is level 1.5 maybe. Yeah, I would say this is level 2, right? It's gonna kind of skipping level 1 because I'm gonna show you some level 1 technicalities. This is performing better than that. I'm not gonna say this is level 1. This is really above that. It's maybe 1.5, right? The technicalities are really good. Of course, soundstage, as always, it's an earbud. It's a real good soundstage. And what am I gonna say about that? But again, it's not really great at positioning and imaging. But I kind of put tonality and timbre in like technical performance section, because I believe like where else are you gonna like put that there? If you can consider the texture of your sound, yeah, that's kind of, I mean, that you could argue that's kind of details, right? That kind of a detail. So yeah, in detail section, it's really good. It's definitely punching above its weight and its price range. It has a good amount of detail, especially compared to its price range. And yeah, let me know if there's anything I'm missing right now, kind of spacing out. But technical performance really good. Imaging, it's okay, right? I've heard better, but this is definitely above average imaging for this price range, right? Anything I'm saying here, I'm saying really good, put it for the price range, of course. It's not like generally immediately it's really good, and like how am I going to compare it to like a 300? And it's not like I'm comparing to a $300 earbuds. I'm comparing it to its above to its price range, and for its price range, it's definitely overachieving. It's again punching above its weight, if I'm saying that expression right. So let's do some comparisons right now. And for the first comparison I'm gonna make, well, let's talk about this one. This is another great set that I praised. This is NiceHCK EB2S Pro. And yeah, you can go ahead and watch my review on this thing. This was the first review that I done. But again, this was a really great set. And yeah, between these two, you can see that DNA is the same. Like NiceHCK putting the same DNA of this thing into this thing, or maybe it's vice versa. It's going from this thing. I don't know which one came first. But the DNA they have the same DNA of the sound too. Like this obviously has more clarity in the sound, a lot more. Like this, I would say, is a level 3. Yeah. This is a level 3 technical performance. You can definitely hear a lot of positioning. The strength of this set is really its technical performance. And as I said, this one described it, it's a neutral bright sound. I think this one has more warmth to it. So it's really, if you really like this thing, but you just can't do with the brightness, you don't like it. It's not that this is super bright, it's a low bright. But if you just can't like it, if you don't like it, you want some more bass, some more actual mid bass, some heft, something warmer, I would definitely suggest you would go for something like this. And also it's cheaper, and it's kind of, I would say, competing. Like tuning wise, these two really compete. And it's just the technical performance that this thing shows its price. And actually, fun fact, for a while I always use this all the time. So I was listening to this thing for a while. I was seriously considering just switching to this thing and listening to this thing more. And I did for a while, for like a week or two. I was using this thing way more. I was carrying this around instead of this and listening to music on this thing. And no complaints. This one has just, as I said, that magical, delicious, warm, smooth cream tonality to the mids. And when you don't care, when you're like outside, when you don't care for details and position and or technical performance things, for like super clear things, you don't mind that. Yeah, this one sounds really good. It can even go head to head with this thing. But other than that, and this one has more bass too, right? So it's a little bit more enjoyable, fun in that area as well. Would I say this thing has better tuning? That's hard to say, right? These two are for really different purposes. And a lot of times I don't always enjoy this, but a lot of times I would take over this, and a lot of times I would take this kind of tuning over this thing. So they both have their own place. I really won't be able to tell you which one is a better tuning, because that really doesn't live, that kind of a statement doesn't live in isolation. Like you have to say for what purpose, for what situation, or what music, for whom, right? So yeah, and that's that. Again, like you can see the amount of detail and dedication, sophistication they put into the tuning the treble on this thing. It's really present over here too. Like it's not obviously not the same treble. Like this thing is obviously better, way better treble over here than this thing. But this one is just really, you can tell this is the big brother that's really doing a lot, achieving, going to college. This is the little brother. You can see a lot of potential. It's getting really good grades, shows a lot of potential that if it can go ahead and try really hard as much as this brother, it can really maybe even beat it in the future. But yeah, for now, this is the little brother. Yeah, definitely very good set as well, right? This is the comparison I wanted to make. Maybe it's not really fair because this thing is like 4 times the price of this thing, around 20 to around 5. Yeah, maybe it's not so fair, but yeah, I just wanted to mention that there's the same DNA and it's really good tuning. And for that, my next comparison would be, well, it's not a set that I have right now. It's Yincrow X6. I don't have that set anymore because I gave it to my friend when I moved out, so I'm just gonna use this thing as to represent that one. And let's say this is Yincrow X6. Yincrow X6 compared to this thing, oh, like that's a bit like maybe an unfair too, because that's double the price. Yincrow is around €10 maybe, $10. This thing around 5, 3. Yeah, the prices are not really clear, especially it really also depends on where you are too. But with Yincrow X6, I think that had a little bit more clarity, right, with the sound. The mids were definitely more clear. You were definitely hearing more amount of bass. The bass was very super punchy and very powerful. Like that was insane bass that I've heard on Yincrow X6. And also the treble was definitely more details. But that's what I'm saying, like that was a very V-shape, not a very V-shape, that was a very different tuning that was very more energetic. But again, this one has better tonality than that too. This one is great tonality. Yincrow X6, sometimes I had problems. It would sometimes get shouty, and I'm not someone who's like really sensitive to that area, so it could get fatiguing at some point. But this one never gets fatiguing. If you want something that is really safe, something that is safer with the tuning, this is really good for that purpose. X6, yeah, better bass, more amount of bass, clearer mids. The mids are not like, again, yeah, those were clear, but not that amount. It had a little bit of a maybe like level 2.5 technical performance. Yeah, maybe a little bit more details. But honestly, I would suggest, if you really, unless you really want something energetic, you want a lot of amount of bass, you don't care, you should go for this thing, right? If you want a lot of bass and very energetic sound, and you're not really like sensitive to a little bit of a peaky, little bit of a sizzly treble and a little bit of like a shout, you could go ahead and go with the Yincrow X6. But if you really want something that's all-rounder, works well with your different kind of music, and works well with more kind of music, it's smoother, you want something a little bit more relaxing, but you don't want to really sacrifice too much on go with something really warm. That's gonna like be tiring at some point. You actually want some details too. This is a really perfect middle ground that I would say you could go for, right? And that is Yincrow X6 comparison. And again, like, let me know if you want any more comparisons that I'm not mentioning here, because there's a lot and I don't have time to compare it with everything. Again, and also if any specific area that you feel like I'm not comparing it to, definitely let me know. I will explain that more and better, because I could talk about these things for a long time. I'm really trying to be quick and go ahead with it, not make a very long video. So go ahead again with the next comparison, V Monk Plus. Again, those two are a very funny comparison to make. First of all, I don't have the Monk Plus. Again, I gave it to another friend. And also the Monk Plus, I had apparently an older version, and like after recently I've seen there's a newer version. It's like a 7th edition. This 2025 came out. I'm not really sure. I don't even know if that's a different sound, if they changed the sound with it. I heard from one person that the sound on it was upgraded, but yeah, I don't have that set, so take this with a grain of salt. But from the V Monk Plus that I remember, that was, I really praised the tuning over there in its own video review. You can go ahead and watch it. And that was a really great tuning as well. But also this thing has a really great tuning too. And as I said in that was a very scientifically and logical earbud, the V Monk Plus. Like everything, every aspect of the tuning, you think about it, you're like, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, this is totally makes sense to do it like this. Yeah, this sounds like it's a very logical earbud, right? This is also really logical and makes real sense. Like we can praise on the tuning in the decisions that they made in a lot of areas. But again, like maybe the Monk Plus had a little bit of a more of a tuning, more of a clarity, but this thing sometimes knock down maybe you again sacrifice a little bit of a clarity, a little bit of go like easier on the treble, don't give too much bass, don't to be super impressive in the first place, and then like get you like fatigued and tired and bored for the future. This is sacrificing just a little bit, which I don't mind, and it's just gaining in some areas. This one has soul compared to the Monk Plus. Monk Plus, really good tuning, maybe a little bit of like a soul less, honestly. This thing has soul when you listen to music to it. It's just like before this review, I was just listening to Idea 10, like the Leftovers series soundtrack, the soundtrack for the Fountain, like anything with piano and classical music, especially those notes sound so smooth. There's a good amount of weight to it, not too weighty, not too thick sounding, good warm sound, and again it has good amount of texture and like a creamy smooth mids over here. I cannot praise it enough for the mids that this thing does. And yeah, so I honestly would say they have the same price points. Monk Plus is around again $5. Between these two, I honestly would say go for this thing. It's a more soulful tuning. It goes head to head. I think this one is better for more people. It suits them well. I find this really enjoyable. I've completely used this way more than I ever used the Monk Plus. I praised Monk Plus, but I never found myself like wanting to reach and use it. But with this thing, I really want to just keep looking for excuses to reach this thing, even though I have much more expensive gears as well, right? So let's really not make this too long. And what is the next comparison? Well, let's say, I don't want to make too many comparisons, but let's talk about this thing. I'm gonna make a review on this thing next. This is the QianYun QianYun or QianYun. I don't know how we're gonna pronounce it. And yeah, these ones are also very interesting set. But again, this is around $15, something around that, 17 maybe. And again, these two go head to head, right? This thing has more clarity. Again, same thing with the Monk Plus that I said. It's the same as Monk Plus, but a better version of Monk Plus. It has more details, better technical performance, better mids. Like it's an upgrade. Take the same philosophy of the Monk Plus and upgrade it. You would get something like this. It's a little bit warmer. Monk Plus was a little bit of towards the neutral side. This is a warmer side. Like this has more amount of bass. It's way more enveloping, but it just makes the sound very much warmer. Again, this thing is not as warm. It's very neutral and more polite. But these two go head to head, right? And the mids, they're both really good. I would say, like, you see the mids over here on this $15 set, I would say they're like on par with this mids on this thing. And clarity wise, maybe this one has just a little bit more of a clarity, but generally they're on the same level, right? And just like I explained, like this thing is kind of the mids especially are punching above its weight. And it's like competing with something triple its price, right? The mids are otherwise very much comparable in quality as well. And the sound mids on this thing sound really good. And the treble again, you can see this is more polite. The treble over here, it's a little bit more treble. It's sometimes when I up the volume a lot, I get some amount of like harshness and peakiness with it too. So it's just a little bit more of a V-shaped, mostly warm, like a lot more bass over here. But yeah, the technical performance, it's actually really close. Again, maybe this is a 2.5, level 2.5, similar to Yincrow X6, right? And both sets, X6 and this thing, really good technical performance too. So this is amazing that it's almost there, but just a little bit, half a level behind those things. That's really is a compliment for this set, right? And yeah, that's the comparisons for this earbud. And I wanted to make more comparison with the Iris 2, but again, there's not. This is a very different set, very warm, not as much. Yeah, this is very warm. This tone I think beats it in every area other than bass. Just and the bass, even I would take this because this just has more quantity of bass to it. This one, the bass over here has some details. Like that's the thing that you're not gonna get with a lot of these things. Maybe on Yincrow X6 you also get some details and texture on your bass too, but over here you're getting some details and texture on your bass, of course, mids and stuff, other things too. But yeah, this other in every other area, I would say take this over this thing, and I think the price range is the same too. So yeah, I'm not gonna talk too much more about it. Again, let me know if you want me to explain and elaborate on some of the things that I kind of tried to summarize. And again, this turned out to be a long video also, but yeah, hey, I tried my best. So yeah, that's it for this review. In conclusion, I would really recommend this thing. I think for $5, the price that this thing is, I think you should get it as just like a beater, like something that you just throw in your pockets, throw it in your whatever you just sometimes want to use, and you don't want something a lot expensive, and you really care for something natural and relaxed, and something that performs well in like a variety of different kind of music, sometimes a lot of watching movies maybe. It's a very capable, it's a jack of all trades, right? It's very versatile, and yeah, especially the price. Like if this was like priced $15 or $20, I would say like, yeah, it's well priced, it's deserving for its price, yeah, it performs well. But especially because this is so cheap, I would say yeah, it's really doing good for that price. And like especially the comparison between the video buds and this thing for the same price, that's insane. This is like 3-4 times better than those things. And yeah, I would definitely recommend this. This is a great set. And again, I hate to be the guy that just completely shills about one brand and but I can't help it when they make good products. So I don't really have a choice. When they make a good product, I have to praise them, even if I don't like the brand. And which, it's not like I don't like the brand, I'm just saying. This is a really good set, and I would recommend it to you. So let me know if you have any questions about it, any comparisons that you want me to make. I definitely have more videos. I see your comments. I'm getting more earbuds. There's the new Moondrop earbuds that have come recently. I'm really trying to get those. I'm really interested about those. I don't know anything about them. I'm getting more earbuds, the Fengru ones I keep getting suggested. And yeah, let me know if you have any suggestions, recommendations, questions. And I guess until then, I will see you in the next review. So until then, take care and goodbye.